What's up, you guys? This is a very serious video. This video is about Kanye, and it's about anybody that has been called mentally ill when that's a very disingenuous term. Anybody that has been called mentally ill as an attack rather than something to help them, okay? So yes, there's mentally ill people in the world, and by mentally ill, I mean blubbering in the streets, like, totally gone, talking to themselves, talking to the walls, like, ready to stab somebody. Okay, that's mentally ill. There's a lot of mentally ill people in the world. But a lot of the time when people call you mentally ill, it's not because you're actually mentally ill or they think you're mentally ill as like who you are, you know what I mean? A lot of times it's just because what you're saying makes them uncomfortable, it's weird, maybe what you're saying is stupid or silly or emotional, and maybe what you're saying is total garbage, but it doesn't make you mentally ill. Like, seeing all these people, Kanye says all sorts of weird shit. He's Kanye. A lot of people that are artists that are very honest and open about every single thing that goes through their brain are gonna sound very silly because the saying about how like the quieter you are, the more mysterious and wise you seem. It's because like we all have crazy weird thoughts that go through our heads, and especially when you're going through a period of struggling. Kanye is going through a period of struggling. Kanye West, he's like, he's right after his divorce. His wife, his like hot wife, leaves him for like this way younger guy that is kind of weird, and like they're keeping his kids from him because he's weird, and he's going through this emotional meltdown in public. So he's having an emotional meltdown, and it's like, which normal person after their divorce and this crazy stuff is not gonna act out? You know what I mean? Like, even like breakup is gonna make people act out. Even the smallest thing, even moving somewhere, even moving to a new place is gonna make you act crazy. Why would this guy act normal right after his divorce and this crazy huge life change? And then on top of that, since it's all happening in public and it's happening on the internet, and then you have everybody pointing fingers and saying, you're mentally ill, you're mentally ill, you're mentally ill. Okay, mentally ill is people that are gone in their brain. Mentally ill is not somebody that's still making money. Do you see this guy blubbering in the streets and talking to the walls? No. He's putting out albums. Like, it's actually amazing what he's capable of doing. Is way more capable than most people. Most people, after such a huge life change, aren't going to be able to get back on the horse, keep talking to the cameras, keep, making albums, keep making money, keep being a functioning adult. No, most people can't do that. You know what I mean? And that's normal people. I'm not even saying those people are mentally ill. Those people aren't mentally ill either. They're just human. But like, this guy is far from mentally ill. So please stop calling him mentally ill. Oh my God. Like, guys, okay, he said some stuff about Jews or the Illuminati or the, I don't know what else he said. He said George Floyd died from fentanyl. He didn't die from the guy putting his knee on George Floyd's neck. Okay, he said that this is fentanyl death. This is not knee on his knee on his neck death. Sorry. Okay, I don't know if that's true. Like, I wasn't there. I also don't really trust the media, but they're probably saying the truth. I don't know. I don't care. But he said something, okay? It's not the biggest deal. It's not the end of the world, and it doesn't make him brain dead. Like, he's saying things that he's thinking. He's being open and honest with the world. You don't have to accept everything this guy says as truth. Like, you don't have to accept anything anybody says as truth, and just because some information is out there, it doesn't make you obligated to consume it. It doesn't make you obligated to believe it. There's all kinds of crazy religions in the world. Are we calling every single religious person mentally ill? Are we calling every atheist mentally ill because we don't agree with them? There's all sorts of cults, like some of the craziest cults in the world. Like, what about those people? Are they mentally ill? What about people that, you know who I think should be called mentally ill if we're gonna play the mentally ill game? Astronauts. People that go to outer space. You're mentally ill if you go to outer space. You have to be mentally ill. Why would anyone go to outer space? They might not come back for the rest of their life. They're gonna be stuck in like, oh my God, if something opens from your rocket that you're in, if like there's some space opening and you're stuck in, and then you have to breathe, like, I don't even know what you're breathing. Like, there's no oxygen out there. Like, oh my God, even thinking about it is making me feel crazy. Like, you're mentally ill if you're an astronaut. You know, can't be a normal person thinking that way. Nope. And so I see people doing this all the time where they'll, you don't want to be called mentally ill, and I mean, there's some people that want to be called mentally ill. There's some people that say, oh, I have a mental illness and this is why I couldn't do my homework, or I have a mental illness and this is why I need X, or I can't do my work, or I need you to give me this much money, or whatever. Okay, there's some people that want to be called mentally ill because they're using that strategically to get something else that they want. But most people don't enjoy being labeled like a mentally deficient person just because they had a thought or a conspiracy theory or whatever they said that sounds weird to you, or like most people don't like that, but they're perfectly happy to follow the whatever is cool and mainstream, like sheep. They're perfectly happy to call the one guy in the media that said something different than everybody else, oh, he's mentally ill because he said something that's not true or that's different. There's a lot of people that say not true and weird different things. Just turn on the news. Just turn on the news all through COVID. Just turn on the news all through every war that happened in history, every crisis, everything. Like, there's all sorts of people say all sorts of things. Big whoop. There's all sorts of weird religions. Like, okay, think about your religion, whatever your religion is. Imagine your religion was replace the deity with aliens. Your religion might actually have aliens in it, so let's actually not do aliens. Replace the deity in your religion with Lady Gaga. Okay, and imagine the whole religion was about Lady Gaga. Like, how silly and weird would it seem? And you might even think that the people doing that are like mentally ill. Like, oh my God, they're praying to Lady Gaga? What? Like, and maybe that's not a good example, but it's just absurd to assume that just because somebody prays to aliens, they have a mental illness. No, they're just weird. But you know what? You could be considered just as weird to that guy. So before you're about to point your fingers and say, this person is mentally ill, that person's mentally ill, that person's mentally ill, try to put yourself in that person's shoes and just look at yourself and say, maybe I'm mentally ill. Anyway, so I hope that video was informative in some way. I hope it didn't make you feel more mentally ill, because that was definitely not my goal, is not to tell you that you're mentally ill. It's just to tell you that sometimes people use the word mentally ill because they don't like certain people, they don't like what other people are saying, or they're using it strategically, or whatever someone is saying is not true and is making them uncomfortable. Whatever the reason is, it could be not true, or it could be uncomfortable, it could be weird, boogeyman, whatever. Mentally ill is still not accurate. So just think about it next time you hear that being said in the news, and think twice before you jump on the bandwagon. thank you for watching this video, and see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.